Hey everyone, welcome to Reddit Readout. Today we are checking out Malicious Compliance. Story 1. The one with the manager who needed to know. Hi, first time posting here. It was suggested over on r/target that I share my malicious compliance story here. Probably not the most original, but I really enjoyed complying my way. About 10 years ago, I was on medication that required me to drink lots of water to stay hydrated. Thus frequent bathroom breaks. At the time, when I had to go, I'd just make the trip and not make a fuss about it. My department manager was very controlling and said he needed to know what was going on all the time. After a couple weeks, he informed me that he was writing me up for not informing anyone about my bathroom breaks. So, cue malicious compliance, before I ever knew what it was. I made sure I walked him directly over the next couple days every time I had to go. And everyone in the store with their walkie-talkie on heard me. Hey, manager, you needed to know when I'm going to the bathroom. I'm gonna go potty now. Thanks for asking about it. Hey manager, I'm taking a pee right now. Should it hurt when I pee? Hey manager, I need to do number 1 and number 2. Hope it all comes out okay. A few minutes later, flush looks good, I'm back on the floor. He calls for me as I'm urinating. Hey, manager, you were looking for me? I'm in the bathroom. Be with you in a sec, I gotta use both hands now. Store managers and HR stepped in at that point and said I didn't need to go the TMI route. I responded wide-eyed and as innocently as I could, I don't want to get in trouble. Manager told me he absolutely needs to know about my bathroom breaks. I was merely doing what I was directed. They said they'd take care of it, and I was specifically asked to never call out bathroom breaks again. My coworkers were laughing about this for weeks. Story 2. Malicious compliance can only get you so far. I worked at a job where we had workbenches/desks that were set up to best suit a specific kind of work duty. In a nutshell, we tested these electronic assemblies and put them together, doing some troubleshooting when necessary. Though you could be moved from desk to do different things, some people were, understandably, a bit territorial about their desk and it being the way they left it. There were some tools we had to share and take turns using because they didn't get enough for everyone to have one. For example, more expensive computer adapters that were used to program the electronic devices we were testing. Some of which just seemed to live at whatever desk it was used last. There was no marked or agreed upon resting place for said tools. The managers didn't like people visiting with one another while working, that is, making small talk or similar. However, they began enforcing that to more and more ridiculous levels. For example, I would return a tool to my coworker's desk without saying a word to him, and turn around and go back to my own desk immediately, and a manager would still chew me out. I would point out that he wasn't even in earshot of us, and if he had been, he'd have known that we didn't even say anything whatsoever. I wasn't told I couldn't return tools. The root of the problem the managers had with me was that I was making small talk with other people, which to be fair, sometimes I did, but more often it was work-related, but the managers would see us talking from outside of earshot and just assume so to speak. It would be kind of hard to come to an agreement on where to leave a tool when finished with it without being able to talk to the other people working there with you. I came up with several workarounds. There was a computer that everyone used to move things in the system. The computer was in a relatively central location, and there was plenty of space on that desk. I didn't use it for any particular work duty, but I left tools and adapters there when I was done with them. The managers also didn't bother me if I left my desk to get a tool for my own use, as long as I didn't ask anyone, except the managers, for help finding it. So, I figured if anyone asked me where a tool was, if I didn't have it right in front of me, I'd say ask the manager. During break, I would tell the guys who were always ranting about their tools going missing, that I was leaving them at that one central desk. I also said that if anyone asked me where something was, and I didn't know where it was, that I would send them to the manager, because the managers were the ones breathing down our necks every time we were at someone else's desks. This worked well enough for us lowly workers, at the expense of everyone always chasing the managers around for tools. Ask a manager became a bit of a catchphrase. Meanwhile, the central desk became an impromptu tool desk, but things didn't tend to stay there long enough for it to become too cluttered. Then, the managers decided they were sick of everyone chasing them around for tools. What did they do? Get enough for everyone to have their own? Implement a place to put them back when done? Of course not. They made a policy that if someone came to you asking for a tool, you couldn't fob them off to management, you had to help them yourself. They named the policy after me, as well. They must have somehow figured out it was my idea to send people to them. Or maybe I was the one doing it the most. They also banned tools from the central desk, as well as specifically banning tools from the break rooms, the time clocks and the bathrooms, unless you were fixing something in those places. They didn't announce this one officially, they just started writing people up for leaving tools there. And because you couldn't really talk to people, you couldn't warn your co-workers of the rule change. Next, I tried leaving sticky notes at the desk from where I had taken a tool, explaining where I was going with it so that if someone needed it, they could come to my desk first. Unfortunately, the managers kept removing said sticky notes every time they found one. Though I didn't get in trouble for that one, I still stopped doing it. I wish I could say I left of my own accord after finding a new job, but I'd be lying. I was eventually dismissed from this job and had to find a new one relatively quickly because I was unemployed. Surprisingly, the company is still in business. Story 3. Director told me I had to prove myself for a promotion, so I proved myself to another company for a 25% base pay increase and double the bonus percent. So 8+ years ago I used to work as a business analyst for a large multinational construction materials company. I was a good employee. They were a great employer. I had been given 2 promotions in my time there and been moved to several domains in the IT department. I learned a lot. A role came up to be a senior business analyst within a new domain, and for various reasons I was denied the promotion. Not a big deal. I understood the reasons. I really did. I wasn't bitter. A more deserving external candidate 100% got the position. I was still given the opportunity to work in that domain. Great learning opportunity. A few successful projects later in the new domain I asked if I could organically be promoted to a senior business analyst. And by successful delivery I mean my business partner going to another director in IT, who had a stake in that domain, where has he been all of my life, so I had definitely done good if not great. My manager spoke with my director and the response was, well, he needs to prove himself. I had to laugh. Don't get me wrong again. My director was a great guy. He after all did promote me twice and gave me the opportunity to learn all these various new domains of the business. Nothing against him. The explanation just pissed me off. I would have been satisfied with there's no budget this year, or I don't think I'll get approval for an in-place promotion. HR was one of the domains I supported, so I know how things go. So I kept learning the new domain and started applying for various jobs outside the company. Took a few months, but one role finally clicked. Current job, $88,000 plus 15% bonus paid annually. New job, $110,000 and 30% bonus paid quarterly. Director wanted me to prove myself. I just proved my worth to another company. Got a $22,000 raise on my base and doubled my bonus percentage. My manager then comes and asks me, so was there anything we could have done to keep you, like make you a senior? Well, I only started looking because they said no to being promoted. Otherwise I was and still am happy here. The money is hard to turn down though. In hindsight I am glad they denied me the promotion. I would have never left that company otherwise and not been on my current career trajectory. Story 4. Charge me a fee to pay online. Enjoy your trip to the bank. The property manager for my app recently changed hands and the new company has a policy where if you don't set up autopay they will charge you $10 to pay via a one-time ACH, every time. I feel extremely uncomfortable having such a large payment on autopay as I like to ensure my bank account is funded and they didn't charge me incorrectly. However, you can still pay by check with no fee and their office is only 2 doors down so it's pretty simple to drop it off. Also I love that it takes them around a week to cash the check so it doesn't come out of my account right away. I'm 90% sure that they do in fact drop these checks off due to the copy of the endorsed check I see online. Either way, they aren't getting their money instantly, so I view it as a win either way. If only everyone started paying by check again we could show these fuckers not to charge senseless, greedy fees. If there is a logical reason why they should charge for an ACH, but not for an autopay of an ACH, let me know. To me seems like it is the same type of transaction. TLDR, company charges a fee to pay rent via ACH so I treat them to a trip to the bank to cash my check and hang onto my money for an extra week. Smiley face. Story 5. No room no problem. For some context I go to a middle school in a city 40 minutes from my house, on good days. How am I in a school outside of my district? Certain districts in Texas allow you to go to one of their schools for academics as I'm there. Since I'm outside the district and at that school by choice, I'm not zoned to be able to ride the bus. My dad is a football coach for my brothers so that's how he got dummy bag thing emojigs. Alright, now let the story begin. One day my dad decided let's bring the tackling dummies home because there definitely isn't a place at the field to store them. And left them in his, small, car to stay. Since the car is pretty small, usually I put my backpack and lunchbox in the back and ride up front. However, with these new dummies, I couldn't fit it in the back. I asked him can I move these to which he responded no, I need them for football mind you practice is 1800 hours and this is 7:00. Okay, here comes the magical words malicious compliance, disclaimer, don't let your parents find out you're doing it on purpose or you could get grounded, you've been warned. I happily hopped in the front seat with my backpack pushing on his shoulder and Meg uncomfortably, not enough to distract his driving, but enough to make him not want it on him. He was in the military for 20 years so that didn't even make him flinch. Now it's time for the backpack dig. I give him my lunchbox and dig everything out of my backpack to find my iPad for an assignment. Once I finally find it I start pretending I'm doing something and have him with all my school supplies. When he started asking why I couldn't put them in the back for now, it finally clicked, and usually I enjoy backpack-free rides to school, except for today, which is why I'm writing this. That's all for today. Please don't forget to like and subscribe.